Alrighty then, it's time for a Jungle Irelia game. Let's get this show on the road. And this one is special for many, many reasons. But I won't point them out. You'll probably see them yourself. Certain things have been enabled this game. Anyways, this is after her nerf, so this is basically what you're expected to see from now on. Like the last one, it unfortunately came out the same day she got nerfed, and I played her before that, so it wasn't the most accurate depiction yet. And also this game is after having tried out a different kind of build on her too. So, like I said in the last video, I've been wanting to try out different builds. I was looking for suggestions, learning her player a bit more, because I want to see the potential she has, because I feel she has a ton as a jungler. Like, I'm not going to say that she's, S or A tier. She definitely has her weakness, which is her early game, but the fact that she actually scales up and she has a lot of build options is a really good thing. Now, speaking of good jungler, this is not a good jungler habit. I was trying to force the gank here, mostly because, again, you guys can't see in regular chat, but you could see all chat. In regular chat, the stress was already starting to compound, and I think I basically forced myself to make that gank, and obviously it led to my death. But no, not again, eh? I'll just say that, not again. Either way, yeah, this game I'm going Titanic, Hydra, and then building also Blood Razor, and then building with Randuin's Omen and quasi-tankier, that kind of stuff, right? Just to make myself be able to survive the flurry of damage the enemy team is expecting to have. They have Riven and Pantheon, so whoever they see first is going to take a huge amount of damage, and that's what I'm expecting to have to survive. Because if it went pure glass cannon, they would probably kill me before I got to do anything. Right now, as far as the game is going in the early game, you can see my team is having kind of a difficult time. Even though the score is rather close, my laners are feeling a lot of pressure, and I have to somehow assist them, even though Irelia jungle is pretty weak in the early game. Now, I also do have to say that it's kind of sad that once she was nerfed, once Irelia got nerfed, a lot of people were just immediately writing her off, saying she's terrible, she's terrible, she's not as good as other junglers, other champions. But I feel that's way too defeatist and way too quick to just make that kind of assumption. Yes, she came out to be really strong after her rework to the point where they had to make a hotfix nerf on her. However, just to write her off immediately, despite the fact that she has a lot of nooks and crannies, a lot of flow with how she plays, and a lot of potential with her ultimate and her E, and using her Q to bounce around. It's way too fast to do that, because more stuff can be discovered, and you can find out what works even best with her, and she'll become even better. And, just writing her off immediately is rather silly. It's sort of like certain champions who are very simple and very one-dimensional. Something like Zoe, who is just throw your Q and make sure to use your Q really well. You can kind of get the gist of their power very quickly. But on some other champions, there's just a lot of little nooks and crannies, a lot of tools they got to do. Sort of like Aurelian's Soul, even though he is on paper pretty simple, the way you have to flow around with your damage and whatnot is really difficult, to the point where a lot of players, even at his strongest, didn't actually play him. That's why nobody even tried. He was just too weird and too different for people to get. Also, in that same kind of vein, Singed himself, like in this game you can see, and you will see, and in any game you see Singed in, they play like no other champion in the game. If you were trying to learn certain champions, you pick up, habits from other similar ones. If you're going to play someone like a strong initiator, you learn initiation tricks from other initiators and that kind of stuff. Singed has no frame of reference. And someone like Irelia, while she does have some frames of reference based on like combo fighters and that kind of stuff, she still has things unique to her that you can't just immediately take other skills you already had and just drop it on her and make this weird quick assessment. I know I repeated myself there, but yeah, it was just kind of silly that a lot of people made videos or comments and whatnot. It's just writing her off. For me, like I already said, personally, I love the new Irelia. She's really fun to play. People keep banning her, so I just can't keep spamming her. So I want to play her as many chances I have, just to try to learn everything, figure her out and what stuff. Like I already said, I fucking love this ultimate of hers so much, and you'll see that you'll see me, and in the games I play with her, I'm progressively trying to use it in better ways to try to maximize her power. or at least, you know, the potential power of it. Right now, I'm doing rather well. Although I will have to say that part of the reason why I have 6 kills isn't necessarily because Irelia herself or because I'm such a great player. But now, it's just it's mostly I'm kind of there to pick up the kill or something. Somebody gets really hurt and they decide not to leave. I'm just there and manage to finish them off. Like in this case, Irelia went against the Singe really hard, but obviously overcommitting and dying for it. She should have played a bit safer, of course, but yeah. The rest of my team, though, they kind of are looking for fights when they really shouldn't. The enemy team's early game is extremely dominant. We need to avoid fighting them. Considering that we have Gangplank and Irelia, and I guess Caitlyn, even though Caitlyn is probably not the best at late game, we should be waiting to get more farm and, you know, just hold out rather than try to force situations in the early game. Even if for dragons, unless it's like an inferno, we shouldn't be throwing our lives away. Anyways, I actually like this little part here because Singe is gonna run in there, being all singed and everything. You know, throwing a spooge, and for some reason that didn't hit our Riven. But my ultimate completely clobbers them because they ended up, you know, having to sit here just guzzling on that Singe poison and dying for it. So that was pretty nice. And talking about E missing, here once again, Singe flips her into my E, and I guess it's just a weird little visual thing, but it just didn't hit her. But it didn't matter because there was nothing going to come out of it. It just seemed a little bit odd. Gangplank and well, just Gangplank and I try to get somebody a bonus kill, but he ends up getting killed instead. So yeah, like in most of this game is a lot of overcommitting by either team and kind of paying the price for it. In this case here, I believe well, yeah, Morgana kind of just died as an after effect. A Singe managed to scamper off, and you can already see, you know, people getting angry. But yeah, build-wise, like I said, I'm going with Randu and Zoman, Blood Razor, and Titanic Hydra here. And then just in general, building more tanky than not. I just got to survive the initial volley and try to kill Ezreal. Because if Ezreal dies, then I felt that Singed would be able to run around unopposed, essentially. And, you know, just kind of win the game for us. Again, the MVP in this game had to be someone like Singed. Either someone like Singed or a Gangplank. But right now you can kind of tell that that's not going to happen. And also in this case here, I was just split pushing top because I felt that any early game team fights, we were going to come out on the losing end of it. And my teammates were already kind of dying prior to the fight and they weren't together or as completely together. So I just completely ignored those fights. I got harassed for that, yeah, but like I said, we just need to get bigger. And in this case, I felt I need to get the biggest. I felt that once team fights happen and I'm rather, you know, chunkier and more powerful, I'll be able to do quite a bit. Here, the team is very unfortunately positioned, and we can't come up with the best fight potential here. I cast my ultimate, and it's not that effective. It only really hit Pantheon, and the Lux blundered into it. But if it was better positioned, I could have gotten the rest of the enemy team and minimized the damage they could have dealt. So unfortunately, then we get aced. And it's just kind of bad play by all of us and bad play by me, where I should have, you know, hung back a little bit, waited for them to go in, and had a better location to have casted my ultimate. Like I said, that ultimate has a lot of juicy applications. So I'm trying to learn how to use it to the fullest, and I do believe in certain team fights I do use it well. Pantheon comes in here, and I flashed just as my E is about to end because I was hoping to use it to hit the Pantheon. And unfortunately, I blundered myself into 4 of them and died very idiotically. So yeah, that was bad of me. The enemy team now has full control of our jungle and pretty much the entirety of the map, essentially. We're not able to get anywhere without getting caught and destroyed. Singed fortunately survives, and the Ezreal is wounded, but he survives too. The enemy team was trying to do Baron, but Singed running around like a madman as always forced them to at least, you know, give us some breathing space. So easy peasy so far. Well, not easy peasy so far. It's our team composition is gonna eventually make its way through. It's mostly the classic case of one team having an actual late game, you know, scaling champions and a kind of a plan as well. You know, Singed running around and, you know, me destroying everybody. And them kind of having missed the initial wave. Like, we're limping around, sure, but we're just limping. Our leg isn't broken. or we can still walk, and then eventually the spraying will go away. Sure, Singe gets killed here at Baron, but at this point they've overcommitted to it, trapped themselves, and again, my ultimate here just completely devastated them. I did not really intend for it to be that effective, but it essentially leads to the death of Lux, Pantheon, and then the Riven. And then I think somebody gets killed off because they get a little too close. But we also get an easy peasy Baron. And that in itself is a massive swing for my team. So hooray. We kind of evens it out. In the replay, you can see that our gold is equal, but in the game, we still felt we were a bit behind even with Baron. But as you already saw in that little team fight, if they don't control me, if they don't take the team fight seriously anymore, they're going to get destroyed. Here, I go mad dashing for the Ezreal. I take a ton of damage, but my ultimate is really effective, essentially dividing the enemy team, or at least dividing them from their front line, which leads to their front line getting absolutely melted. So my death for 3 kills is pretty damn worth it, which it also leads to, I think we get a dragon as well, and we were not able to push for a tower. So it's definitely a good swing for my team. But as you can see, the ultimate is getting much more effective and a lot better. Anyhow, Singe catches the Karma, and then a kind of a really oddly sloppy fight goes here, because Pantheon shows up from behind and gets the gangplank, but he gets to sort of scatter off. Riven comes here and then finishes him off, as well as killing the Caitlyn, and Morgana gets gunned down like a degenerate. So that is in the sense of turning it around back, or turning it back towards the enemy team, basically a reverse throw. So hooray for us there, right? Alright, so yeah, at this point, my item build is basically complete. I have Spirit Visage, I'm building a Guardian Angel, and from then on I'll just be chugging elixirs. I have quite a bit of gold, I got a lot of kills, CS and kills I mean. So yeah, at this point I am the perfect being. Now, here I go, mad dashing for Karma. I thought we'd catch her and destroy before the team fight happened, but look, this time I used my ultimate close to the Riven, so it would force itself here in that corridor, and it effectively disabled the enemy team. However, we're not complete. The Ezreal's keeping my teammates down there distracted, and I get destroyed. But just get ready for this. I thought this was cool. A really well-placed barrel by Gangplank allows me just to dash on everyone after I stunned them. Oh... And then Pantheon, I don't know why he thought he'd be able to survive and blew his flash, but that Gangplank barrel into the mad dashing, I guess, pinball machine that is Irelia was beautiful. God, that was awesome. And it essentially just completely demoralized the enemy team and hyped my team up for at least to keep us going. Because, oh boy, that was beautiful. At this point now I'm going to be chugging those tenacity elixirs, because the only real thing that's a threat to me at this point is the fact that they can CC me down and kill me before I get to do anything. But yeah, that ultimate was a really good opener. At least kept us alive long enough for the few bits of us to do quite a bit of damage. Here, they engage on the Singe to sort of win in weirdly on them, but the response to it was so haphazard that it cost Riven her Guardian Angel, then her life, then Pantheon's life, because he got too close to us, because he panicked, jumped on us, killed, and got himself killed. I used my ultimate, did quite a bit of work there, but there was no real response to it, so it was mostly wasted. At this point, I'm trying to do as much damage before I get taken out, which I do, although I dealt quite a bit before I got dropped. Singed got himself killed by the Ezreal, but he also killed the Ezreal as well, so that's pretty good. And well, the rest of my teammates still having Baron and still just kind of being super strong. Well, no, the Baron ran out, but still being super strong. They would get another inhibitor tower and the inhibitor itself. So yeah, at this point, you can say the enemy team has no chance. They're losing every team fight. My team, our itemization is pretty bonkers. And we've basically regained control of the map. And now that Baron is up again, we can easily control this. Ezreal gets caught and instantly gets, well, not instantly, but gets mauled. He just gets consumed by Hellfire. I go trying to catch the Karma for an easy kill and divide him. Pantheon comes in, but he misses the Baron steal. And with that, that's pretty much, GG right there. Just chasing off the little stragglers, trying to push as much as possible. They give one last ditch effort to try to fight us, but at this point, they're just not strong enough. But yeah, just cleaning them up. I believe like one of them survives. Oh no, they all died. One of them respawns at some point, but they can't mount a considerable enough defense by themselves, considering I have Guardian Angel and we got the Baron power, and it's it's me and the Gangplank, and so that was a pretty good game, and it was a pretty good showcasing of Irelia's actual jungle power. So hooray! And if you liked this video, remember to give it a like. And if you aren't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure to hit the little bell up there somewhere so you actually get notifications to my videos, because YouTube and stuff.